Get up with Barstool Big Cat on the Yingling guest hotline. Big Cat, our condolences. We're all sorry here at ESPN 1000 over the loss of Beef, Cody, who I got to meet on the bus. What can you tell the listeners who Barstool Beef was and what he meant to you guys?
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey guys, it was a tough 48 hours in the Barstool world because Nick Mangold too, who is a good friend of ours. But yeah, both the guys I was saying on today's Pardon My Take, both Beef and Nick Mangold they were the type of guys that they were friends with everyone and they were nice to everyone. And if you met them once, you felt like a friend for life. And, you know, that's kind of the big thing I've been thinking about since it happened is just, you know, how can we be nicer? How can we be better people to each other in a world that's pretty mean and pretty cynical? So they were just, great dudes and it really sucks, but it's also just a reminder that all this stuff is fleeting and, the little stuff is not really worth the energy that we give it sometimes. And to try to look at the big picture and enjoy your friends and your family and that kind of stuff.
And you guys have done a great job surrounding yourselves with good people, the type of people that you've just described, Big Cat, because obviously nobody wants to hang out with people that are pulling on the same end of the rope.
Yeah, and it's also, I'm sure you guys have something similar. A lot of people have something similar wherever they work, but because of the nature of the job that we have and it's a little atypical and it's not just a regular office job, so these people become family and closer than just a regular coworker. So it's and one of my coworkers, Francis, put it perfectly. The great thing about a guy like Beef is he had that feeling of wherever you were, whether it was a golf course, a dinner table, in the gambling cave, he kind of had that, like, can you believe that we get to do this? Can you believe how lucky we are? And I think there's not enough of that in the world where we can sometimes look at the negatives too much, and then you gotta take a step back and say, hey, look, a lot of us are doing well. Minor annoyances happen, but you have your health and you have your family and you have your friends, like, those are the big picture things.
Yeah, it's well said, and again, we're all thinking of all you guys, and it's what I love about your shop. It's similar to our shop where we all get along. It's not always easy in an ego-driven business like what we're in content, but it's great to see, and we're totally sorry and thinking about you guys. I want to, as we try to veer, it's a tough segue, but you've been spot on with the Bears stuff. It was a tough loss in Baltimore. Wasn't a great day for the offense. And you always term things, whether it's must win, can't lose, vibes game. How do you term this game against Cincinnati?
Yeah, so I thought we were going to lose to Baltimore. I thought we were going to lose to Baltimore with or without Lamar Jackson. I thought if it was Cooper Rush, if we had lost that game against Cooper Rush, I would have a different feeling. But that was the game that I was kind of waiting to happen, and we've talked about it, a ton. And if you watch this Bears team, you knew there was going to be a game where the defense didn't take the ball away, and can the offense step up and carry the day? And they couldn't. And I really do believe, like, the difference in that game comes down to the first two drives by the Bears. You get up 14 points on a Ravens team that is ready to quit, and it's a totally different game. Instead, they get field goals, and you let them hang around, and the desperation of a Ravens team that needs a win comes out. So going into next week, I think it's like, and I saw the injury report, the wide receiver room is all of a sudden just completely banged up. I think the offense has to look awesome against this Bengals defense.
Me too.
Has to just light it up. And I know that's putting pressure, and I'm trying to take a big picture approach because my whole thing has been I'm not going to judge this team until we get through 10 weeks. When we get through 10 weeks, that was the whole 6-3, 5-4 thing that I said with the Gateway game. Are we in a spot where we can potentially make a run to a playoff seed, or have we buried ourselves? So these next two games are very important, and specifically the offense has to look great against Cincinnati, who Justin Fields just lit up for 39 points.
How would you describe this Bears team? Like, and not just
not
a word,
very good.
No?
Yeah.
That's how you would say it. Not very good. Not very good.
Yeah, but it's what I said a couple weeks ago. Like, they're not bad. They're not a bad team. They're not a very good team either, though.
So
they're still
average.
Working out a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think this is just like figuring out who Ben Johnson wants on this team going forward. I have ultimate trust in Ben Johnson. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm not panicking because I think he is the guy, and he will lead us to a spot where we can become a very good team. But what would you say that we do, like, exceptional or even a very good level outside of takeaways, which you guys know there's a little bit of luck to that. There's like what do we do that's very good? What do we do? We could run the ball for a couple weeks, then we kind of went away from it in Baltimore. So what does this team do that you're like, this team does this better than anyone else or on par with the best teams, and we can rely on that? I can't point to anything.
No, I think it's a really fair statement. Like exceptionally well.
I don't think they do anything great. I think they're symbolic of the entire league at this point. There are very few teams you look at and go, wow, they're really, really good. Now, that may change in a month or over the next several weeks as teams define themselves. So, but I think you're right. I mean, I don't think that they've done anything to distinguish themselves in any one area as really good.
The problem is, too, the top of the NFC is deep and good. Like, that's where we get into the issue of where the Bears fit in a playoff picture. Because if you wanted to go down the NFC, the Eagles are really good, the Packers are really good, the Lions are really good, the Rams are really good, the Bucks are really good. That's 5 teams that I just listed, and I haven't even gotten to, who else? The Seahawks are really good. Yeah, Seattle's good.
Did you mention San Francisco?
San Francisco.
I didn't mention San Francisco. I'm kind of selling my stock in San Francisco. I feel like their defensive injuries have finally caught up to them, and they're in for because they lost Bosa, they lost Fred Warner, then they lost Huff, and if you saw that Texans game, they could not rush the passer at all. So maybe the answer is the 7th seed is the spot, but I just listed 6 teams that are definitively better than the Bears right now. Yeah. So that's where I'm taking a very realistic approach to it, where it's like, okay, there might be a little bit of a mishmash in the middle for that 7th seed, and we'll see it. If the Bears can win the next 2 games, they'll be live for it. If they drop one of these 2 games they should win, then it's probably not a realistic thing for this team.
All right, how would you describe this? Waddle's been all over this week. I'm not talking about 5 years down the road. I'm not talking about being ultimately the number 1 player in the draft from a year ago in the quarterback rankings. From now until the end of the season, what do you want from Caleb Williams?
I want him to have a better feel for the game, and I know that that's not really something that you can chart. That's not something that you can look at the all 20. Well, you could look at the all 22 for it, but it's not something that shows up in the stats. It's not something that is maybe as tangible as people would want. But what I'm talking about is going out of bounds at the end of the first, or going out of bounds at the end of the first half. Instead, he slides when you're in that pressure situation. 2 intentional groundings. Intentional groundings, Caleb Williams' sack numbers are down. There is no difference between a sack and an intentional grounding penalty, in my mind. Those are the same thing. You lose it down, you lose 10 yards. So those count as sacks in my mind. Those type of plays. The calmness and the control that you hope he can start to grow into, because that's really the difference. Is when you watch some of the elite guys in the league, I think that's where you see it's not completion percentage. It's they feel like they're in control of the game, and they feel like whether it be with their eyes, whether it be with their arm, they're able to control and manipulate the defense and be calm in the pocket. And Caleb hasn't quite gotten to that point, and I'm hoping that he can maybe get to that point this year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really good, I think. I mean, that's a great description of it.
I think what you described is him playing smarter. And when you play smarter with situational awareness, that will lead to you being consistently good, or at least consistently better. I think it's a great point.
Right, and it's not right. It's not like, I want Caleb to be 70% completion percentage. No, I don't care about completion percentage. I want to see him feel like he's comfortable in the pocket, that he trusts his O-line, that he doesn't bail, that he plays in a level of calmness and coolness that I think he can do, but he hasn't fully shown at a consistent level, and that's the next step for him in my mind.
You know the old sports radio call where we say, hey, why isn't Caleb looking at the iPad? Here's a serious question on that, though. And Waddle, I'll throw it to you first, and then Big Cat, you answer since Waddle played, and Big Cat, you didn't.
That's fact. That's fact.
Yes, neither did
I didn't say that.
I don't know.
I didn't say that. Yeah, that was him that said that.
It's facts. It's a factual statement.
So when Caleb
it's
makes...
okay, Sylvie. You can make fun of me. I had 2 friends die in the last...
oh, my God. All right,
I'm going to let you wear that one by yourself.
I'll let you go first then, Big Cat.
Oh, that's not going to make up for it.
No. Listen, when Caleb... again, you know how this has stuck with me. When Caleb throws that interception and he still thinks it was the right read, there was still game left there.
Yes.
When he goes to the sideline, isn't there someone with the iPad there, or he wants to see what was open, what wasn't, what went wrong there? And he still went to the podium an hour later thinking he made the right call. Should that be corrected immediately on that bench?
I believe it should. It should be pointed out to him that this is where you made the mistake. Now, again, they don't do a lot of repeating of plays, but you want him to be aware, look, this is the type of coverage that when you get this look, the flat route's going to be not just your best read, it's your only read. But I agree with you that is something that they should have pointed out right away. I don't know what their policy is. I don't know if their response to that would be, well, we don't want him to dwell on that. We want him to move on to the next play. I would differ with that if, in fact, that was their approach. I would want to bring that to his attention and say everything is a learning experience.
Yeah, and I mean, this actually is a question for Waddle because I don't know the answer to that. So you're right, Sylvie. Like, I don't know if it was the right – I thought that was a read that Caleb – maybe is, he's got a strong arm and he's like, I can make this throw, and you just know that the windows are going to close so much, quicker in the NFL. So yeah, you'd hope that he would be like instantly saying, hey, what went wrong there? So you're saying he didn't do that? Like
I would say 2 things here. First of all, situational awareness, what we talked about earlier. You're 5 yards deep in your end zone. What goes through your mind as a quarterback is, at that particular time, you're down 3. You're in this game. The last thing I can do is make a catastrophic mistake and try to get too risky. The last thing I can do is try to make a hero throw, a Superman throw. As soon as I see the corner, who I'm staring at, start to feather back, I know the flat is open and I know that hole where this ball is intended to go, it's not going to be available. And not only is it not going to be available if we were on the 50-yard line, it's definitely not a throw I can make from 5 yards deep in my own end zone. You have to be able to you say it's a lot for a quarterback. It is. It's the reason why guys who play the position well make $50 million a year. But you have to go through the risk-reward ratio. Is it worth the risk to try to make a Superman throw from where you're at? Absolutely not. Not to mention, it is absolutely the wrong read. The right read is the flat because of how the corner reacted.
Yeah, so. And I also think, I don't know if you guys had the same takeaway from this game, but I feel like we kind of abandoned the run a little bit too much, where it's like, what worked the last 2 weeks when we won the games? We ran the ball down their throat, Commanders and Raiders, and I feel like there was more, or the Saints and the Commanders. I feel like there was more to be had in the run game that we didn't, maybe it's just game script, I don't know, but it just felt like it was working, and it had been the strength. If we go back to, like, what does this team do well, running the ball was one of the things that we had done well in this little stretch, and it just felt like we didn't go back to it enough.
Well, let's change gears here, and Waddle told me about a really good question that Cap and Jay Hood were asking this morning. I heard their show. I didn't hear this question. If you had to bet a large amount of money like you normally do.
A normal play for Big Cat.
On of the 3 teams, the team that's got the best chance to go to the playoffs, would it be the Bulls, would it be the Blackhawks, or would it be the Bears?
I think it would be the Bulls just because the East is so injured and so bad, right?
That was my response.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm saying I'm not going to get tricked by the Bulls starting 3-0. No. It's nice. They've looked good, but you can't, I'm not going to be like, oh, this team is a legitimate contender. But, I mean, the Blackhawks last night, Bedard was insane. Like that, they feel like they're finally getting to that point where it's not just a promise of a young, team. It's actually a team producing and being exciting. But, yeah, I think it has to be the Bulls, right? That's the only answer.
I said the same thing because, like you said, the East is filled with, who? And they were 2 games outside of the 8th seed last year. The Celtics probably don't make it in. And I think the Hawks probably, as exciting as their start has been, probably a year away. And I didn't predict the Bears to go to the postseason when the season started. I don't think defensively they're good enough to get there now. So I would probably, by default, go with the Bulls.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting the Bears to make the playoffs this year either. The defense, and they've carried some games. So don't get me wrong. I'm not like, they're banged up in the secondary. It's just the fact that, like, this is the answer we have for a pass rush that we knew was going to be a problem going into the offseason. It's like, how did this happen again? It's just, there's just no, like, pop. There's no impact guy, and Montez Sweat's supposed to be that guy, but where's the guy that is terrorizing a game, that can take over a game? Where is the pass rush going to come from as we get deeper into the year? And if our secondary stays injured, it's like you're not going to be able to get coverage sacks.
No.
So it feels like it's being held by a thread, and if you can't get those 2 to 3 takeaways a game, you're going to be in big trouble.
All right, give us your thoughts on the World Series, and how late did you stay up for Game 3?
Whole game. Game. Did you guys not?
No, 13th inning. It was dark.
Last time I checked the clock, it was, I think, 12:05. So whatever inning it was in at that point.
What's wrong with you guys?
I'm old and tired.
Yes, me too.
I had to get up at 6 a.m. I had to do TV the next morning.
Oh, look at you, Mr. TV.
You're young.
No, I'm not
Mr.
young.
TV,
No,
I had to do TV.
When you get stuck in one of those games, you can't bail. You just can't. It's like an experience unto itself where you got, like, I was getting a little, like, delusional where I was like, maybe I'm just going to watch baseball for the rest of my life. Like, this game's just never going to end. And it was so crazy. And this has been it's through 4 games, an instant classic World Series. Like, these games have been, the Blue Jays are so good. I
like them.
They're relentless. Yeah. They're relentless hitting. And it's just, I thought they were going to be dead last night. I really did. Because, like, you go 18-inning game, you get your guts ripped out, then Shohei's on the bump, but they got off the mat, and they made it a no-doubter, and I can't wait for tonight. And I don't know, did you guys see Magic Johnson break it down tonight?
Did Magic Johnson, did he tweet? Did he send out a tweet? I'm going to
read it for you guys. It's some pretty high-level stuff. Magic Johnson, he commented on the series. He said, with the series being 2-2, Game 5 is very important. Whichever team wins takes control of the series.
I really think that they've modeled AI after Magic Johnson's tweets.
Or is he trolling us?
Yeah.
Is he trolling us with his own tweets? Like, hey, I know what you guys are saying about me, so I'm going to give you something that continues to fuel what you're saying about me. Like, he's playing us.
I don't know.
I mean, how could he say that and be serious? It's so obvious.
I've heard that he doesn't tweet himself. He dictates his tweets or texts them.
Well, yeah,
so I could see him texting that.
He'll say it, I guess, to his assistant. I think Wilbon's told us about this, where he'll call his assistant, hey, put this out there, and then they'll put something out there.
Yeah, so maybe he did say that. Maybe he was like, hey, Game 5 is really important tonight.
Big Cat, you've got to try doing this. Try doing the same thing for like a week and see how close to perfect, like, the person tweeting for you actually represents what you say. See if you
did that once. I changed my Twitter avatar to the Magic Johnson picture.
That's great.
And I did one of those, and I got, like, the whole internet fell for it. And then, but now I think with the new rules, like, you get suspended if you do that. But it was very easy, very easy.
Do you know? By the way, I know it's Waddle's hometown. Do you have a like or a love for Cincinnati at all? We're heading there tomorrow night.
Oh, great. I like Cincinnati a lot. I've been there probably 3 or 4 times. The Skyline Chili is absolute garbage.
Horrible.
So if you can get past that, everything else in Cincinnati is great. Like great people, great little downtown. I like Cincinnati. I'm a big Cincinnati fan. But yeah, the Skyline Chili stuff. Like we went once, and I saw guys in like suits and ties stopping for like a chili dog for lunch. Like, how do you go back to work after that? I don't understand.
You put a seatbelt on when you sit down. That's what you do.
Do you like the Skyline Chili?
No, and I never have I pitched it as something that you need to partake in when you go to Cincinnati. It was not something that like was a big. Like when we'd get hammered, we'd go to White Castles. We wouldn't go to Skyline.
Now that's good.
Yeah.
Like imagine getting like blackout drunk and then eating Skyline Chili and what you wake up with the next morning.
Yeah, I mean, you end up with chili in your shorts.
Terrible. Did you guys see this too last night? It's tough to describe other than saying Giannis. There was a play when he drove to the hoop that he took like 10 steps and it was not called a travel. It was they broke it down on NBC, and it was perfect. Like, it is so crazy what these guys get away with these days.
I know, and I don't understand it. Because, like, I could watch a video like that, and then I could have someone explain it to me and be like, well, actually, that's like a gather step and a Euro step. It's like, all right, I guess that's fair, but watching it in slow-mo, I was like, that was a travel. I don't understand how that's not a travel.
I don't even feel like the old guy in the room when I say it anymore. My late father-in-law would jump out of his chair when he would see something that wasn't even close to that and scream at the top of his lungs, this game has lost its integrity. I mean, he would go on for a long period of time, and I would just sit there and let him go. I feel like getting out of my chair after seeing something like that and doing my best father-in-law imitation.
You become an old man. I like that. Where you just start yelling it, and you're like, hey, the next step is you got to yell whenever a missed dunk happens, and be like, layup counts as 2 as well. Those are the best. That's when you know you've reached that's when they got to put you in the nursing home when you're yelling about layups.
So good. All right, Big Cat, great stuff as always. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Big Cat.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
There you go. There's Barstool Big Cat every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We're going to have Joniak join us here in about a half hour from now. We've got Waddle's World coming up. I mean, that Giannis play, it's like it's unbelievable. You have to see it to believe it. And then, yes, they're trying to say, like, it doesn't count the steps until he actually puts both hands on the ball, and that's when he gathers.
But it's so dumb. To describe it like that to me is like being complicit in the committing of a crime. What you're doing is you're condoning it, and that I don't believe that's the right path.
Yeah, no, they got to stop that. All right, coming up next, Waddle's
Power
World.
Rankings coming your way.
More power rankings?
We
just had
power rankings.
NBA power? NHL?
Maybe not. Power rankings.
Big Ten power rankings?
On the horizon.
Coaches who are available in their power rankings?
Power rankings on the horizon.
It's coming up next.